In order for life to not keep its foot on your neck, you have to set the standard for your life and know who you are. And what I mean by that is knowing what you will and what you will not accept. Evaluate who you allow to be in your life, what activities, what jobs, what behaviors are acceptable or non-negotiable. I always say who you have in your life can either propel you to where you want to be, or they can completely derail your life. Do not keep people around you who mistreat you, because that is the quickest way to knock you off your game. Do your inner work, maintain your standards, and have confidence in yourself. Are you living life by your standards, or are you just going with the flow? If we're being real, a lot of us find ourselves in situations where we're just accepting whatever life throws at us. We settle into a job that doesn't inspire us. We stay in friendships that drain us, or stay in relationships that leave us feeling empty. And listen, I'm not judging. I've been there. I have stayed in relationships way past their expiration dates. But here's the thing, the quicker you drop the dead weight, the quicker you can get to what is really meant for you. Hey ladies, I'm Tiffany Celeste of Your Wellness Era. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here to help you become your best self by leveling up your mental health, prioritizing your self-care, evaluating your relationships, and creating a lifestyle of ease. So if any of that resonates with you, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and like the video. There's so much power in setting the standard for your life. No matter what you did in the past, you can always start over and reclaim your power. And if you're really feeling stuck and ready for a life reset, then click the link in my description for my Dream Life Workbook. It will help you clarify your values, discover your strengths, and collapse the timeline to achieving your goals and curating the life you want. It's your roadmap to creating a life that is aligned with what truly matters to you. And we'll talk more about that at the end of the video. But for now, let's get into why it's so important to set the standard for your life. Many of us have grown up with certain beliefs or external expectations that have shaped what we think we should be doing with our lives. It could be what we learned in church as we grew up. It could be family expectations, societal standards, and social media pressure. I remember being in a corporate job that looked good on paper, but my mental health was suffering because I was overworked, doing the job of 3 to 4 people. We were understaffed. Management would not hire new people, but we were still expected to maintain the same quality of work with triple the workload. I was doing all the right things, paying my bills, losing weight, working on my credit, volunteering at church. I was checking off all the boxes, but I still felt incomplete and unfulfilled. Thinking back now, I can see that I was living on autopilot and not living on purpose. Have you guys ever watched that movie, The Devil Wears Prada? It's a classic, by the way. But anyway, that part of my life reminds me of the scene from The Devil Wears Prada, where Andy is running around doing all the things. She's sacrificing her personal life. Her relationship is falling apart. Miranda was putting her through it. And Andy was completely losing herself in the process. She was sacrificing herself to meet someone else's demands. And I realized I was doing the same thing in my life. And can anyone relate? But you have to stop living for everyone else and start living for yourself. The first thing you got to do is recognize that you set the standard. You have the right to decide what you want, what you will and will not do, and how you want to live. You are the CEO of your life, and when you're the CEO, you set the vision, the values, and the boundaries that shape everything else. One thing that helped me start setting my own standards was getting super clear on my core values. So for example, one of my top values is peace. I used to think that meant avoiding conflict or making sure everything stayed calm around me. But as I dug deeper, I realized that peace for me meant creating environments both in my home and in my relationships that felt nourishing and life-giving. So take a second to imagine this. Imagine you're throwing a party, but it's a party for your soul. Who's on the guest list? What's the vibe? How does the space feel? That's what setting the standard looks like. You decide who and what you allow in your life. You don't let just anyone walk through the door and mess up your vibe. And honestly, it's about boundaries too. You know, I talk about boundaries in almost every video because boundaries are that important. You have to set clear expectations for yourself and others. If you don't know how to set boundaries, I strongly recommend the book Set Boundaries, Find Peace, A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself by Nidra Tawwab. I'm probably not saying her last name correctly, but this book is really good. It really helped me to advocate for myself and to feel confident saying what I need and what I will not accept. So I 10 out of 10 recommend this book, and I'll link it for you as well. I also love a good Beyonce reference. You remember in the song Formation, Beyonce says, I dream it, I work hard, I grind till I own it. The thing about Beyonce is she is not waiting for someone else to tell her what's possible or what her life should look like. She sets her own standard and lives by it. Once you set the standard for your life, everything seems to fall into place. You start making decisions that align with your values. For example, if your standard is to have deep, meaningful relationships, you won't entertain F-boys or F-girls, situationships, or people that are full of drama and negativity, or as I like to call them, agents of chaos. I remember I had a friend who was constantly draining my energy. She was always talking about what's wrong, never what was going right, always complaining and trauma dumping on me. And while I wanted to be supportive, I realized that her energy was taking a toll on me. That friendship didn't match the standard I was setting for peace and growth in my life. So I had to distance myself from that friendship. Was it easy? Of course not. But my standard for my life required that I prioritize my mental health and well-being. And for me, this applies to everything: my career, my health, and my self-care. Once you have your standard, you start filtering out what doesn't align. You begin saying no to things that don't fit your vision. And that's where your power lies. Setting the standard for your life isn't about being rigid or cutting everyone off. It's about being intentional. It's about knowing what you want, what you value, and making decisions that reflect that. When you live by your own standards, you feel more sure of yourself, more in control, and more aligned with your purpose. I just want to affirm to you that you deserve to live a life that feels good to you, not one that just looks good to others. You have to get serious about you. Create your own rules and curate a life that lights you up. My Dream Life Workbook will help you with that, so click the link in the description to get started in creating your dream life. So ladies, remember, you set the standard for your life. You are in control, and you get to decide what you allow into your world. Thank you so much for watching. If this video inspired you, let me know in the comments. Tell me what resonated with you the most. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who needs a little push to set her own standards. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.